The court was unusually quiet that afternoon, the kind of
That is
quiet that suggested
absolutely
a storm
priceless.
was
I've heard it
waiting
all
just
now.
outside the courthouse doors. When the bailiff finally called the case Harper versus Langley, the room shifted with the anticipation of the audience. Judge Marlowe, known for her sharp tongue and sharper memory, took her seat with the authority of someone who had delivered thousands of verdicts and forgotten none. "You may be seated," she said, her voice slicing through the silence. The plaintiff, Mr. Andrew Harper, stood stiffly at his podium. He was a tall man but visibly nervous, clutching a stack of papers as if they might run away from him. On the opposite side stood attorney Samuel Langley, dressed in a charcoal suit and wearing a look of calm confidence, almost too calm. Judge Marlowe adjusted her glasses. "Mr. Harper, according to your complaint, you hired Mr. Langley for your marital dissolution case. You paid him a $4,000 retainer, and you are now suing for the return of that retainer because you believe he failed to complete the work. Correct?" "Yes, Your Honor," Harper said firmly. "He left me in the middle of my case." Judge Marlowe shifted her gaze to Langley. "Mr. Langley, where are you licensed to practice?" "State of Oregon, Your Honor." "And what year were you admitted?" 1998. "Have you been continuously licensed since then?" "Any suspensions?" "No suspensions, Your Honor," he replied. "Good," the judge said, making a note. "Now, Mr. Harper, did you sign a retainer agreement with Mr. Langley at the time of hiring?" "Yes, Your Honor, but I never received a copy of it." The judge nodded slowly. "You signed it, though?" "I did." "Then you understood that $4,000 was the retainer fee, and according to the agreement, which I have reviewed, half of that amount was non-refundable upon hiring. That is explicitly written. Do you acknowledge that?" "Yes, Your Honor, but—" "No, but. Whether you liked the way he combed his hair the next day, you were not getting that $2,000 back. That part is gone. Understand?" "Yes." "Good. So we agree. At most, you are entitled to the unused portion of the remaining $2,000. Harper nodded reluctantly. Langley stood silent, hands clasped. "Now let's simplify things," Judge Marlowe continued. "Mr. Harper, I want you to tell me exactly how many hours of work you believe Mr. Langley performed for you. We're talking meetings, phone calls, court appearances, everything." Harper shuffled his papers. "Your Honor, we had one court appearance." "What date?" "May 18th, 2021. "And what time did you arrive at court?" 10 a.m. "How long were you there?" "About an hour." The judge made a second note. "Go on. Any meetings outside of court?" "Yes. One office meeting before the hearing." "When?" "May 10th. 1 hour." "Any other meetings?" "We also met at a cafe to discuss documents." "About 45 minutes." "Phone calls?" "2 short calls. Maybe 10 minutes each." "So by your account," the judge summarized, "that's roughly 1 hour in court, 1 hour office meeting, 45-minute cafe meeting, 20 minutes total phone time, which adds up to 3 hours and 5 minutes. Correct?" "Yes, Your Honor." She turned to Langley. "Mr. Langley, do you dispute these hours?" "Yes, Your Honor," he said promptly. "I logged considerably more time. Research, document drafting, reviewing financial statements, preparing declarations, and communication with opposing counsel. My time records show 11.8 hours total." The judge raised an eyebrow. "Do you have those time records with you?" "Yes, Your Honor." He produced a printed log, neat and itemized to the minute. The judge scanned it. "Mr. Harper," she said, looking up, "these appear legitimate. Do you have any evidence that contradicts these records?" "No, Your Honor, but I believe." "Evidence." The judge cut in. "Not belief. Evidence." Harper fell silent. Judge Marlowe tapped her pen against the desk. "Now, the second issue. You claim Mr. Langley abandoned your case. Mr. Langley, did you withdraw?" "Yes, Your Honor. But I withdrew properly, with court permission, and after giving Mr. Harper written notice. I had legitimate grounds." "What grounds?" the judge asked. Langley cleared his throat. "Mr. Harper was unwilling to follow my legal advice. Repeatedly. He also became hostile during communication and demanded filings that were legally unsound. After several warnings, I determined the attorney-client relationship had irreparably broken down. Judge Marlowe turned to Harper. Response: "That's not true." Harper burst out. "He just didn't want to work on the case anymore because my ex-wife's lawyer was aggressive." The judge raised a hand. "Disagreements are normal, but withdrawal requires proper procedure." "Mr. Langley, did you file a motion to withdraw?" "Yes." "Was it granted?" "Yes." "Were you ordered to return any portion of the retainer?" "No, Your Honor." Judge Marlowe leaned back in her chair, thinking for a moment. The room was silent. "Mr. Harper, since half the retainer was non-refundable, the portion we're examining is the remaining $2,000. At Mr. Langley's hourly rate of $250, even your own account of hours exceeds $750 worth of labor. His documented hours exceed the entire refundable retainer." Harper tried again. "But he didn't finish the job." The judge shook her head. "Completion is not guaranteed. There is no clause in the retainer promising resolution, only representation and billable work. He withdrew with permission. He documented his hours. And you have no evidence contradicting his record." Harper's shoulders slumped. Judge Marlowe continued, voice firm but not unkind. "Retainers are not refunds for dissatisfaction. They are payments for time. The question is, did Mr. Langley spend time on your case?" "And yes, he did." Harper stared at the floor. The judge straightened her papers. "Mr. Harper, I understand you feel abandoned. Divorce cases are emotionally draining and often unpredictable. But feelings are not the basis for a refund. Evidence is, and your evidence does not support your claim." She looked at both parties. "For these reasons, judgment is entered for the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is dismissed." The gavel struck. The case was closed. When Judge Marlowe's gavel struck the desk, the echo lingered longer than usual. Mr. Harper stood frozen, as though the sound itself had knocked the air out of him. Attorney Langley calmly collected his documents, his movements precise and practiced. The courtroom audience whispered softly, sensing that even though the case had ended, the story was far from over. Outside the courtroom, the hallway felt colder. Harper paced back and forth, muttering to himself. His frustration swelled as he watched Langley exit the room with the quiet confidence of someone who had won not only the case but also the argument that preceded it. Finally, Harper rushed forward. "Mr. Langley," he called. Langley paused but did not turn fully. "Yes, Mr. Harper?" "You know this isn't fair," Harper said. "You left me when I needed you most." Langley finally faced him, his expression surprisingly sympathetic. "Andrew, leaving a case is never pleasant, but you and I both know the relationship deteriorated. I can't represent a client who refuses to follow legal strategy. But you didn't even try. Andrew," Langley cut in gently, "I did. You wanted aggressive filings that would have backfired. You demanded deadlines the court would reject. And when I refused, you questioned my integrity. No attorney works well under those conditions." Harper's breathing grew heavy, but beneath his anger was a different emotion: fear. "What am I supposed to do now? My hearing is next month. My ex-wife's lawyer is tearing me apart." Langley hesitated, sensing genuine worry. Then he said something Harper wasn't expecting. "I can refer you to someone." Harper blinked. You would?" "Yes," Langley replied. "Even though the court case is over, I don't want to leave you stranded. I can recommend someone who specializes in high-conflict divorces. Someone who might handle your personality better than I could." Harper let out a slow breath, no longer angry, just exhausted. "Fine," he said quietly. "I'll take the referral." Langley nodded once and handed him a card. "Her name is Attorney Evelyn Grant. She's tough, patient, and very straightforward. You'll get along with her." Harper stared at the card as if it were a lifeline thrown into a storm. "Thank you." Langley gave a brief nod and walked away down the long marble corridor. The office of Attorney Evelyn Grant was small but neatly arranged. Piles of color-coded folders lined the shelves, and a warm lamp glowed beside her desk. Harper sat across from her, feeling far more nervous than he had expected. Evelyn placed her glasses on the desk and leaned forward. "So," she said, "I've reviewed the documents Mr. Langley forwarded. I want to understand your expectations. What do you want from this divorce proceeding?" Harper shifted uncomfortably. "I want fairness. My ex-wife is making me look like a monster." "Every ex-spouse says that," Evelyn replied calmly. "But courts don't care about stories, they care about evidence. So let's talk strategy." Harper felt himself relax a little. "Okay, what do you suggest?" Evelyn clasped her hands. "First, you need to follow my advice exactly. I'm firm, but I'm fair. You're emotional, understandably, but emotion cannot run this case. Facts will." Harper nodded. "Second," she continued, "you need to stop reacting to your ex-wife's provocations. I've seen your text message logs. Some of your replies make you look volatile." Harper winced. "She pushes me, and you push back. Judges do not like that. We're going to fix it." For the first time in several weeks, Harper felt the faint glimmer of hope. Someone finally understood the nightmare he was in. Judge Marlowe sat in her chambers, sipping tea while reviewing upcoming case files. She paused when she reached the upcoming docket. "Harper, Harper," she murmured. "Oh dear. He's back in my courtroom next month."